Hey guys. So I want to talk about how we've all seen a movie, right? Where there's like a hacker and they're typing away at a black screen on the computer. Just a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo. It's like a whole bunch of letters, numbers, or whatever. And it looks so cool and you're like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? I want to tell you what that black screen is most of the time and how it's not as hard as it may seem. So majority of the time, if you watch a developer, a systems admin, engineer, like just anybody who is in the tech, IT space, whatever, majority of the time, you won't really see them moving around the computer with their mouse. You will kind of see them more using it with their keyboard. So you'll see them move around the computer in something called a terminal. A terminal is a tool that allows you to control the computer without actually using your mouse. You're not using the icons, you're not clicking on things. You're actually controlling a lot of things from the keyboard inside the terminal. Instead of clicking on folders, you type different commands and your computer responds to those commands. So here's an example. Instead of clicking on the document folder to open up all the documents you have, inside the terminal, you would do cd documents, and then next you would do ll. Now I'll explain what these commands mean, but in general, I want us to get the gist that a terminal allows us to move around the computer with control. So the same way how you would double click to open up a document, like you would do a right click to open up and create a new file, you can do all of that within the terminal. So one of the things that I found to be very important to truly understand how to move around a terminal and how to move around inside your documents and just figure out where you are is understanding the difference between absolute and relative paths. When you understand the difference between that, you're able to just move around the terminal like a pro. Like you're able to really understand if a file is here, how do I get there from where I am, blah, blah. So I want to give you this example and I want you to think about it from this perspective. Okay, so imagine you're at my house and I need you to find my phone. I can tell you how to find my phone in two different ways. I can either tell you, go upstairs, make a left, turn right, and my phone is on the nightstand. Or I can say, from the front door, take a few steps, then make a right, go upstairs, make a right, then make a left, and then my phone is on the nightstand. Do you notice the difference between those two different instructions? One tells you how to find my phone from the front door, and another one tells you how to find my phone from where you're currently standing. That is what it means when we talk about absolute paths and then relative paths. So let me break that down. Just like every single room in your house has a location, every single file has a path as well. So here are some things we need to discuss. If I say find my phone, you first need to know the location of where the phone is, right? The same way if I tell the computer to find the file that's called michelle.txt and open it, it needs to know where michelle.txt is. It needs the path to that. So if I say my phone is upstairs, that's only useful if you know where upstairs is. But if I say from the front door, turn right, go upstairs, make a right, then make a left, and my phone is there, it doesn't matter where you are. From those instructions, you can always make the same instructions from the front door and you'll be able to find where the phone is. That is why paths matters. Computers need clear instructions in order to know where to find things and what to do with them. An absolute path tells you where to find things no matter where you are. It always starts from the beginning, which is the root directory. In our example would be the front door. So no matter where you are, if I give you the directions from the front door to wherever I need you to go, you'll be able to find it because I gave you the full path of instructions. So remembering that a path is just an address for where a file is on our computer. So home/michelle/documents/michelle.txt is an absolute path because no matter where you are, it will always take you to that place. Like you can be in your downloads folder, but if you pass that path, it will always start and take you to the same place. So that is why absolute paths are important because it's regardless of where you're standing, where you are at that moment, it will take you to that place. A relative path tells you something based on your current location. So if you are already upstairs in the hallway and I need you to find my phone, instead of me saying, come back down to the front door and here are the instructions, I would give you the instructions relative to where you're standing, which is upstairs in the hallway. I will say, oh, from where you are, make a left, and my phone is on the nightstand. Instead of me giving you the instructions all the way back down from the front door. Relative to where you're standing just is easier. So an example of using a relative path is something as simple as in a bash terminal saying cd documents. Now this only works if I'm already in the right place. If I was in the downloads folder and there's no documents directory there, and I said cd documents, it would say file directory not found. But if I'm in the correct home directory that has documents inside that area, I don't need to go and write cd/home/Michelle/documents. I can just say cd documents because I'm already currently in the right relative place. So this honestly might sound like a whole bunch of nothing. And then to some people who have already been programming, who are just familiar with the terminal, this sounds like, why are you explaining something so simple? But it's really what makes it so easy for you to move around the terminal if you truly understand where you are and how you're gonna get there, versus if I need to write the full path versus if I'm gonna write a path based off of where I'm at. Like, it really gives you control on how to move inside the terminal. Like, because majority of the times when you're moving around the terminal, you're trying to find a file, you're trying to run a script, you're trying to do XYZ, and you think about it based off of where you're at. Is it easier for me to just give it the full path? Is it easier to do it relative from me? Even when I'm writing the script, right? Let's say I'm writing a script and it needs to call something else in a different place. That script is going to be run somewhere that's not relative to where that other script that it's calling is. I need to know if I should write the absolute path of it or should I just do the relative? Like, so there's different scenarios in which you would use one or the other. And it's important to understand what each one does. Absolute paths, they're precise and a little bit longer to write. And relative paths are shorter, but they need some context in order to really understand where you are. So that's the difference between absolute paths and relative paths and why we use them inside of a terminal. Majority of the time when I'm moving around the terminal just from the command line, I'm just using relative paths to where I'm at. But if you're gonna call something within something else, I would give it the absolute path. Something like that. Computers use the same logic that we use. They break things down very simple. So the same way how I would tell you to find my phone is the same way I need to give those same instructions to a computer. And the same way I would tell you how to find a house in a neighborhood, the instructions I would give you, I need to be able to break that simply down for a computer in order to give it the path to find the files or directories that I'm looking for. Okay, so lastly, the next time you get an error that says file not found, I want you to ask yourself this. Where am I running this from? Am I using the correct kind of path? Just look at that. And then now that you understand how an absolute path and a relative path works on your computer, I want you to think about it as you navigate your computer with that kind of mindset. I hope this was helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe for more beginner tech-friendly tips.